right, so let's play. I'm not going to use the paintbrushes because that's just going to get them gummy. So pencil, some Q-tips, some red, some white, or some blue, and then some white to get different tones of it. And then we've got potentially my palettes here to play with. I don't know, it seems like an invitation to problems, but we'll give it a go. Get that out of the way. So we've got, I think, did I use this for, yeah, I think I used this for oil paint. So that might give some interesting additions to this that are not intended. It's been a rough day. Really would have liked to just call it quits for this day, but I'm not going to, because I know in the long run that'll just mean I'll feel crappy about today, even tomorrow. And if I feel crappy about tomorrow, and then it will just be a series of crappy days. And instead, I can participate and play with some artwork and potentially feel better by the end of the evening. So let's just play with artwork. So I think what I'm aiming to do is we're looking at potentially doing some of those dot artworks. And so you usually have a couple different colors. So I may just do, start with a indicator of where I'm going to go here. So what I'm thinking of trying to do is, I don't know, that seems like it seems like an awful lot of page to fill is where I'm going with this, I think. My instinct is to do something that follows along like that. And so what I want to do is a series of big dots proceeding all the way down to smaller dots with a series of dots that go along the edges of them in a radial pattern, essentially. I don't know if you can hear me if the mic's too far away, but so big dot surrounded by little dots. You can do small dots, and then you can do a series of those around that. And then you can do a larger dot at certain intervals around that. And then again, you do a series of smaller dots around those. And you finish that off. And if you do it right, you would do which I did not do here. So what I need to think about is like how I want to proceed with that. So what I want to kind of do is this nice big circle here with another circle here. That's a big one. And then another big one. And these are not going to be perfect circles, apparently. I need to do better than that. I will just do a circle over top of it with paint, but I'm drawing rather heavy, actually. I should probably be doing this lighter, but I'm not going to sweat it too much. Ooh, that's ugly. So that is not what a circle looks like, but okay. And then we do Okay, that's not super bad. And then we can do a little one there at the bottom. And we can enlarge this, I think. So I like that sort of arrangement. So that should work relatively well for that. And then around that, I think what I'm aiming for here is reduce these in size as I go. So I probably want to shrink those down a little bit. Because this one has to be big for the next one. And then we do a little bit smaller each time we do it. That's roughly the idea of what I want to do. And then so this one would be and then we do bigger. And then we do bigger. So that's sort of the way we're going to go with that. And then on the outsides of those, you're going to do little dots. That's sort of the impression I'm going for. Now the question is, can I achieve it? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. I feel like I should put something underneath this because this is kind of thin paper. It's one of the hazards of cheap art supplies, I guess. Did I have something to... Oh, I can use a brush bag, yeah. All right, so slide a little plastic in there underneath so it doesn't bleed through or any of that garbage. So these are some of those air pocket fillers that they give you in packaging. Put this down in there. It should be an HDPE or an LDPE, so it should be pretty resistant to. Yeah, you can probably get away with 2. So we put those in there. Gives us a semi-soft surface also, apparently. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. So color scheme wise, I could start with do I do red with, I could do red on these and then purple and then blue maybe as I work further out. And then, I don't know, that seems not where I want to go with that. Give me a second here. I think what I want to possibly do is sort of do that monochrome effect again where I'm using, I might start with do I want to do a blue and work my way out to a purple? So do I start with a lighter blue, work towards a darker blue, and then get to a purple at the edges? Maybe. That might be the way to go. So let's do a lighter blue in the middle and just see where we're going from there, I guess. Oh, I should probably shake my paints to make sure they're mixed because they've been sitting for a while. Okay, so that's blue. So a little bit of a dark blue there. And So we've got a dark blue, and we can throw in, mix my white. Is that the white or is that the varnish? No, that's the white. Okay. So we'll start with that. And do some mixing. And I might even go a little lighter than that. That seems still a little darker than I'm shooting for. So let's put a little bit of that in there. A little more than that, I guess. So it's really blending pretty far. So I don't know. Let's just give this a go and see what we got, shall we? I need to move over here. This is not the best positioning for this, I think. Let's start. Do we start small? We might start small. So start down here at the bottom. And then it's all right. It's not really where I was thinking of, but as an experiment, that's not bad. I need you to be rounder than that, dude. Come on, work with me. There we go. And then do a little bit more on this one. Get it to the edges of where it's supposed to be. And this one, yeah, they're just going to behave like that, I guess. So it's not going to be perfect. It's certainly going to have some issues for the start. So there's that. Probably not the best tool to use for this either, but don't want to gum up my good brushes for this just yet as I figure it out. Okay, so doing this and getting a nice, hopefully, it looks darker than I wanted it to look, I think, but we'll go with it. We'll see what we can do with it. All right. Just try to focus on having a little bit of fun dabbling with art rather than letting the stresses of the day soak into my brain and drive me a little bit nuts. I don't have all the energy in the world. I know what I'm going to probably end up doing is even after I'm done this and it's helped me calm down a little bit, it's going to be so stressed out, I'm not going to be able to sleep well. gonna toss and turn for a few hours tonight, and have to get up and do some important things tomorrow. And be in a crappy mood and stressed from it, and derail some of my ability to do them well, and probably make the situation go badly despite the fact that I need it to go good. It's just going to be like, I wish people would not unload their garbage on me on a daily basis. And I wish people were better. I wish people would treat me better, honestly. I don't treat you like you're an inferior person, and I really don't want to be treated that way. And when I'm treated like I'm some erring child and a sort of hostility pointed at me, it doesn't make the situation better. No part of that makes anything better. I know that's just going to keep eating at my brain tonight. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do about it. It's just sort of the way it's going to be, I guess. All right, so that's what we do with that. We've got our sort of a chain of snake chain of dots, chain of circles. Where are we? So do I dare try? That one looks like it could benefit from a little resizing. Oh, now that looks way bigger than it's supposed to. See, that's another one of those art things that I should have learned the lesson when I was younger. And I sort of did, but I still keep doing it. When you get something that's good enough, stop fiddling with it, because you're just gonna tweak it a little bit more here. I can do a little bit better here, and then you just start mushing everything together. End up with a problem. Just let it be. All right, so we'll go with that. So that works pretty well. Now, let's see, that does seem darker than I wanted it to. So let's try something here. I want to mix in a little more white. Get a much lighter blue. So we got this going, and this is a much lighter blue. And do we... Makes me wonder if what I should be doing here is a lighter blue in the middle of the darker blue. How's that looking? Maybe. We'll give it a go, and then when this dries, we'll put a dot of white in the middle. We're certainly not doing very round in some of these, are we? Let's try a new end on the Q-tip here, shall we? All right, so that's not too bad. Oh, for pity's sake, are you really going to do that to me? Well, thank you so much for that little trick. All right, so I guess we're going to call it on that one. So let that dry a little bit. So I'm wondering if taking this lighter blue and doing the dots around it makes sense, or if I should do a white around it. No, I don't think white works. Not as it currently sits. So let's just try okay, so we do that. Those pencil lines are going to screw me up. I don't know if I'll be able to erase them later or not. I guess we'll give it a try. And try to do better not to run them together, shall we? And see how we're going here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Stop doing that, please. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It'd be nice if they were nice and round. That would be super helpful. Seeing as how I'm making dots. All right, so we did that. Might go back with the white on some of these centers. I'm not sure this is something I'm quite satisfied with, but it's not bad. And as I go further along the edges, I think I'm going to need something smaller. What I might end up doing here, actually, is I don't really want to rub my fingers on that right now. Hang on. Oh, right. Somebody used all my paper towels. That's super useful. All right. Can't wait to get out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, come on. Work it off there. Get it off there. Get off my finger, too. That would be super nice. Nope. I don't want this long hair on the front of it. Come on. I know we're sort of watching paint dry at this point, but trying to get this to work in a way that works for what I'm trying to do. And then so that's a smaller tip. It should work for some smaller dabs. So let's put a little white on the palette and see what we can do with that, shall we? Oh, of course, we're getting blue all over my hands, but it is what it is. So we do. Well, that's all still pretty wet, isn't it? I was looking to do something like this. Dot, dot. I don't know if that's blotting out so much of the blue on the white. I do like a good blue and white look. I don't know if it's partly because I used to love the blue and white pottery as a kid, and it just reminds me of that a little bit, or if it's just something else. Clouds on a blue sky, I don't know. It's just something I kind of like about it. I don't know that this is looking all that great, but we'll just keep playing with it because that's what art is. Playing at figuring out how to express and play with an idea and share it with other people. Okay, you're just not carrying enough white anymore, I guess. Okay, so. Nope, now you're taking too much of it down. All right, that's super cool. Awesome, thanks. Having one of those days. Don't seem to get anything to work the way I want it to. I don't think I'm an overly negative person usually, but good Lord, some people really know how to bring it out in me. I think that one is pretty goopy. I may let that dry a little bit more before I hit the top of it. Okay, so we do a dot here, dot there, dot there, dot there. Whoop, that's a huge goopy dot, and that was not the intent. Doot 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 doot. Okay, so take a look up here. Dot there. Dot there. Dot there. Dot there. Dot there. Jeez. Suddenly hand got shaky. All right. Fine. Get a shaky dot. It's your problem now. Shaky dot, shaky dot. Shaky dot, shaky dot. Okay, so we did that. I gotta get those two at some point, but in the meantime, these look like they're drier. Dot. All right, so those four need to dry off a little bit more too. Overall, not super bad. Not where I was going with it, but we'll see what we can do with it by the end. Ideally, this would be nice on like a gray or a black background. I need to go clean up a second here. All right, so maybe I just need to get a little distance from it at some point. Because I know when I do some artworks, right while I'm doing them, they always look worse than they do when I look at them later. Because I'm my own worst critic. All right, do we risk it in the middle of that? That's still pretty wet. Let that go a little bit longer. Here, let's just do a nice big wet white dot. Call it there. And then I take this one again and get the white in the center of these guys up here, I guess. And okay, so that's decent. And then from there, I might be doing, here, let's try this, shall we? So it might be a waste of paint, but we'll give it a go. So we do, oh, I do have a couple more white dots to do, don't I? Yes, I do. All right. Come on. Come on. And there you go. Going with a dark blue around that. I think that may be a mistake, but we'll do it anyway, because why not? What's a mistake that has no consequences? An experiment. So, ideally, you would do this in a radiating pattern or an otherwise repeatable symmetrical pattern, but I think my original layout was not conducive to that. Okay, so now you're just doing it again. All right, so we do that again, and again, and again, and then again. And then we do one up here, one. Usually you see people start out on these types of patterns with a circle, because a circle is relatively easy to do. You divide it into sixths or eighths like a pizza, and then you just do increasing rings of smaller and smaller dots, and then you layer them and you play with them more and more as you go. And there we go. It's all right. Doesn't look as good on the screen as it does sort of on paper for right now. But what we can do now is sort of clean this one off, I guess. Get the tiny one back. Get the tiny one back. I didn't intend to turn that into a song, but okay. We'll get the tiny one back. Actually, we could probably do another couple big dots down there at the end, huh? Because a single point, that's probably good. So now we go back over and we do a dot in the middle, dot in the middle, dot in the middle, dot in the middle, all the way down. Sort of like the, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. All right, so let's do one here. That one's still wet enough that it's not doing it well. All right. And I think from everything I've seen, all right, you're just being a dork about it there. Okay, so let's get everything I've seen of people who do this type of artwork. The trick to it is, if you don't like the way it is, add more dots. The more complex and mind-boggling you can make the layers of dots, the more it covers up all the little things that bother you when you see them one at a time. So you just keep going until you reach a point where it's an amazing array of dots that your eye doesn't perceive one at a time. It's sort of like building the forest with the trees so that you don't see all the flaws in the individual trees. You just see the forest at a certain point when you stand back far enough. That's a very mixed metaphor, wasn't it? Oop, nope, we're sort of off center and too small. There we go. Oh, the places we'll go. Do 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 do. It's definitely an adventure. Try something new that you haven't done before. See what you think you can do with it. Now, part of the idea of me dabbling with this right now is just to get a sense of what I can actually do with it. Because I have an idea for a series of artworks that I want to do that use this technique to make different shapes that you can combine together, sort of like a stained glass window. So instead of individual panels of glass, each one of them will be a concentric series of dotted circles. All right, I'm just gonna be a dork about it. All right. So dot. I think that's, oh, one more down here. All right, so how's that looking? Yeah, it's all right. It's not perfect. But dare I do a series of dots around that? Yeah, it's not really what I'm digging right now. But like I said, theoretically, one of the approaches to doing this is just add more dots. And so I guess I'll just do that. We're coming up at 47 minutes, so I will aim to be done in an hour. Or I want to end at an hour tonight, not an hour from now. Oh, that's way too much in one dot. I'll have to come up and see if I can pick some of that up again so it dries faster. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll just be what it'll be. Give it a little chance to dry, but other than that, just keep going. Keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Name for it? The squiggle. I don't know what to call that. It wasn't really meant to have a theme or a title, but it's inspired somewhat by like paisley patterns. So it's really kind of intending to take that approach to creating a piece. And like I said, what I'd like to do more is do more like triangles, squares, circles, some rectangles and trapezoids, maybe pentagons, and then basically make tiles out of them. Sort of like, you ever play that, what is it, tangrams? So when you take a set number of tile shapes and you assemble them into, can you make a man in a boat? Can you make a seahorse? Can you make a Christmas tree? Can you make a bicycle? And you're just trying to reproduce a pattern using nothing but those 5 to 7 tile shapes. And I kind of want to be able to make a set of tile shapes that I can reuse, but I want to do more. So I can do sort of like faces or other things, and just sort of adjust the shapes a little bit sometimes, because I don't want to be stuck with a set of blocky shapes necessarily. But like I said, like you can break down a stained glass window into its constituent parts. Each piece is usually a multi-sided, two-dimensional polygon of some kind. And taking that idea, I'm trying not to get my arm in the paint. So if you can make a bunch of polygons, and in certain pieces you'll have to make custom polygons to do the right shape. For the piece you're making. Okay, we'll just call that I meant to do that. Might do another layer just outside of that one in the blue again, and then do, I think, white dots in the centers of them. So I want to try to see if I can do this round a little bit smaller. See if we can get this out of the way. So try this, dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there. And so, yeah, like I was saying, if I could do pieces that are all blue like this, a few pieces that are like blue and red, and so when you step back, the piece has a slightly purplish tinge, and I can do more red than blue, and then I could do more blue than red and get different shades of purples, and I could do yellows and greens and blues and purples, and I could do the whole colors of the rainbow and make individual tiles, sometimes even ones that shade from one side to the other. And use those to make the components that you stick together in a sort of like a mosaic or a stained glass pattern approach to achieve a finished picture of like a seahorse or something like that made out of pieces like this. Okay, you're just arguing with me at this point. Come on, come on. Okay, so let's get back to this here. Go. And yeah, it's like I said, like a few minutes ago, I was looking at it going, it looks kind of weak. I don't know if I like it. And then now I'm looking at it and thinking like, that's not half bad. And that's just because I added more dots. Okay, so. It'd be nice if you did actual circles like I asked you to do. There we go. Like I'm asking you to. Come on, dude. Seriously? I think it's just the degradation of the end of this Q-tip here that's doing it. I might switch over to a new one here in a second. Give this one more try here. Listen to the fan on that computer go. I don't know if you can hear it, but I certainly can. And it's just chugging along. It's saying, I'm working super hard because you're overloading me. I think some of these look like they need a little space between them, but overall, not super bad. So let's. Now I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to do a dark dot in the middle of this first row of blue and then a white dot in the middle of the next row. I don't know if that makes sense thematically, but I may just do it. See what happens. boop, 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 boop. It does seem to spread it a little more on this side. I'm kind of curious about whether or not that works as well as I hope it does. So go in one little last loop here. Oop, that's a little closer than I wanted to be there. Okay, so yeah, I just hear it, so. Okay. Hi. Okay, I get that joke. Thanks for sharing that. PNE. So yeah, I love when people wander into a chat and share those dorky little jokes. It's sort of like the you ever see The Simpsons, where Bart Simpson calls up the Moe's Tavern and is asking for what is it? Amanda Hug and Kiss, or dude, what are some of the other ones he's done over the years? Like, nothing says mature like a good prank call, huh? All right, so we're getting there. I might just turn this upside down so I don't dip my sleeve in the middle of it here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finish off that row. All right, so now what I think I need to do is, and I don't know why it didn't occur to me to try it before, is to see if I can snap this Q-tip in the middle. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know that I would ever do it, because I mean, I certainly, I don't think it's amusing to try to make other people say things that are completely meaningless until you're. And it's like, it's not like they even stuck around to find out. Like, if it was just having a little bit of fun and joking around with the person, like, you'd stick around and like, haha, that's funny, but they're gone. They dropped that off and left. They weren't interested in whether or not I said it. That's sort of why I stopped in the middle. Like, if you were to stick around and say, can you say it? Can you say it? And have a little bit of fun with the joke, that's fine. You can be a dork. You can be a goofy dork sometimes and have fun with it. But if you're not going to stick around for it, why would I bother? So now I got to ask at this point whether or not doing a dark dot in the middle of these guys works. And I don't know. I might just do white dots in the middle of those and then leave this last row blue. I think I might just do that. So let's just give that a try. Just because my brain says symmetrically speaking that we want to have, we want to have, you know, a row of light blue and white with a row of dark blue with light blue, followed by a row of light blue and white again. So that's where my brain is saying I should go. So I guess that's what we're going to try. 2, yeah. But I do want to see what I can do with this style. I think I made an overly convoluted shape this first time, but that's sort of like That's sort of the fun, is trying something. See if you can break the way things work. Push the edges and see, past this point, it's not going to work. So I now know that a lot of twistiness to it really doesn't do the piece much good. But I also know that even when I get to a point where I feel like it's not the right look for it, just layering on more dots really does help it recover. Okay. Do 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 do. And we are at an hour now, so I am gonna, I think this will be the last round, unless I decide to do that last row with white as well. I don't know that I will do that. I guess it depends on how this looks when I'm done with it. I think this probably would have looked better on a different background color. A lot of people do them on black. I don't know that that's where I wanted to go with this one. A little too much darkness on there would probably, I don't know, maybe it would make these lighter colors pop a little bit more. Trying not to lose my place in here and put a dot in the wrong one. Okay, getting there. Also trying not to dip my sleeve into it. Okay, so we're getting up towards the end. Up towards the end. So that one, I think, and that one were both on that layer. There's a certain sort of, like, if I were a little more symmetrical and geometric about this, I would know which one of those dots belongs to which level, but I got a little sloppy there, and they're a tangled mess. But I think it's harder to see the more dots you add, how symmetrical, because nobody's going to stop and say, hey, wait, that one doesn't match up right. Nobody's going to be looking that close. Well, I'm not going to say nobody. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has nothing better to do than count the dots. But all right. This has improved my mood a little bit here tonight. Oh, I did get a little on my sleeve. Gosh darn it. It's always something, isn't it? Always something. Wait for those to dry a little bit more. Can't let me just be happy that I'm not having a crappy day anymore. I'm not saying I'm having what I'd rank as a good day yet, but certainly better than it was about 2 hours ago. Not wandering around the kitchen cursing to myself. Those 2 dots are going to take a little while to dry. And I think that's actually pretty good. That's not bad. I feel like the dots in the center of those are a little bigger than I want them to be. But that's just like, the next time I do something like that, I could do a series of dots around them. As an experiment, I call that a semi-successful piece. I've learned something about it, so I kind of dig it. I do think if I do that again, I'm going to get something a little more solid than like the Q-tips. So maybe like a little bit of like a plastic tool with a like a round end, like a ball on the end, so that the ball can hold the paint in a circular pattern. Those Q-tip tips got too mushy and you'd get flat sides, and so you get irregular shapes. I don't like that as much. And I think, again, I would say probably above this size or maybe this size, I wouldn't want to do rings like this again. I think in the future, I will do those as a series of dots rather than concentric rings like that. But other than that, I think that's pretty good. I will let it dry. I will take a picture and I will see if I can post a picture over to my social media. And that's, you can, I've done things like this with different pebbles or beads. And that's sort of where some of that look comes from, is like if you string beads into a pattern, you can make something like this with seed beads, where the beads would be like a dark blue with a light blue dot on it. If you built something like this out of beads, you can make necklaces and earrings. And, you know, somewhere along the way, some other people said like, oh no, you can do paintings like this too. And so I saw some of those a few years ago and thought, those are really neat. And I wonder what else I could make with them. And so I wanted to dabble with it. And so tonight was the first night I got to really, you know, just wing it. And I had no plan of what shape I was going to do. I like a swervy, curvy piece. But I don't know that I would do it this style again. I might do just a tadpole next time. And it would be kind of fun to maybe do a yin and yang maybe or something like that. And then in between them, I could do, like I could do on the outside here, I could do a pattern of like red dots, red and yellow, to make like a blend of like red at the edges and an orange as you get towards the center kind of thing. So you get your reds to oranges and your blues and whites in a different pattern, or your blues and greens in a different pattern. But overall, I think a semi-successful experimentation with this. I don't know that I'm going to frame it and be, you know, making prints of it, but as a dabble to try a new art form, I do think, based off of what I did here tonight and a few things I learned doing it, I know what to do for this style in the future and what I can do with it. So I won't do a lot of these big pieces anymore. But this dot arrangement, I know I can do a point. I know I could do a rectangle, square, or diamond. I could do a triangle. And I know I can do round shapes. And I know I can do joined shapes. So if I can do, you know, circles, squares, diamonds, teardrops, triangles, maybe a pentagon at some point. Like I can do lentil shapes. So that gives me like 0 points, 2 points, or 0 points, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 points. And maybe at some point a hexagon. At that point, you're really approaching a circle again. And doing that, you can, like, if you ever look at like a Buckminster fullerene, the buckyballs, they're made out of hexagons or hexagons and pentagons. Cubes are made out of squares. Tetrahedrons are made out of triangles. And if you can do this type of pattern in all of those shapes, you can create three-dimensional forms, and you can also do sort of like a picture of a cube. You know, you ever see somebody draw out the stretched the diamond shapes, and you stack 3 of them together into a formation that looks like looking at a cube point on. I wish I had a little cube here to show, but I think you get the idea. Here's the pencil. So you could do something along the lines of a, and then you do doot 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 doot. Ta-da! So each one of these is just a little triangle shape, or a little diamond shape. And if you can take that little diamond shape and fill it with these dots, so like a red to orange series here, a green to blue series here, and a yellow and white series up here, I guess. And you can end up with a multicolored cube made out of series of dots in arranged positions. And using that methodology, you could use all sorts of shapes like this as a panel piece, and it's not like it's curvy on one side and straight on the other. You can use it as a panel piece to make parts of like a cheekbone on a face, or if you wanted to make a picture of a cat, you just make a couple little lines, and then you turn those lines into splits between the panes, and you end up with a stained glass look. And that stained glass look can be used to make each of the pieces out of dots like this in different color arrangements. So that's sort of where I was playing with tonight, just get a feel for it. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet tomorrow. Like I was trying to sort through my ideas, and like my ideas, I'm sticking with the set that I did. So I did dot art tonight. Am I doing bubble letters tomorrow, or am I doing eggshell mosaic? Because both of those are very similar to this. But if I do eggshell mosaic, then do I do the bubble letters next, or do I do the eggshell sand art next? Like, which ones are more similar, and where do they fit? And then where does collage fit into that? And then flow art uses the acrylic paints, but does an entirely different style. But that's similar to eggshell sand art. And so I'm just like back and forth, and which makes the most sense to do? And the answer is, I don't know. So we'll find out tomorrow which one I decide I need to do. Alrighty. Thanks for joining me tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Have a good night. Good. And ta-da.